Humans on the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we need to take a look at the new April 1st, 2022 OCG ban list. Just dropped this morning. Really cool stuff. It's always interesting to look at the OCG's ban list and see like how that might translate into TCG ban lists down the line. So let's just jump into this thing. So obviously starting off here, we have our bans. Finally, the OCG gets Imperial Order put to none, as well as Verte Anaconda. These are big hits for sure. I mean, Imperial Order is just one of those cards that everybody's always pissed at because it's just an auto win. Nobody thinks auto wins should exist in the game. It's just one of the most disgusting floodgates you've ever seen, especially when back row removal is almost entirely, not entirely, but for the most part, if you play back row removal in your side deck, in your main deck, this card still beats it, right? So like, it's like even the cards that are better to side deck against it don't even beat it every time, which is just really bad. So, and then there's Verte. We've talked about Verte. DPE has been in their format for a minute. People had pretty much leaned off of, kind of like in the TCG, leaned off of Dragoon almost entirely to opt into DPE just because the draw 2 on the follow-up, the fact that he's interruption every turn, just so nasty, right? But finally getting hit here, really cool to see that, so that DP will not be as splashable into any deck, period, and that's really awesome. So let's move on here to our newly limited cards. So these cards, hold on, just make sure, there we go. We have our Water Enchantress of the Temple, Rite of Aramasir, and Fusion Destiny all going to limited. Water Enchantress and Rite of Aramasir were already semi-limited on the last ban list, and now they get put to 1, which is crazy, but you know, that's still cool. I mean, listen, if you play 1 Water Enchantress, 1 Aramasir, you can still play like Foolish Burial or any engine that gives you like a Foolish Burial type effect and just dump the Enchantress to get her effect to search and like still get to the Griffin Rider. So like, it's not the end of the world. Maybe these getting put to 1 though does make you question playing the equip spell. I know it's really plus, but that drawing that card by itself is just not great at all. And if you're not able to play as many starters, then like your ratio is definitely like super awkward. I don't know if people would do that, but that is probably something to consider. And Fusion Destiny makes sense. It was forbidden so that people couldn't make use of DPE with Verte, but now that they've banned Verte, there's no reason to punish hero players who just want to play DPE. That's an archetype boss monster for them. So having this at 1 at least just makes that like a playable, like still playable for them. I mean, they can make it other ways, but it's still like a nasty one-off that they probably want to play anyway. So really cool. But yeah, makes sense. This package has been so consistent. I mean, right now in the TCG, we still have it at full power. We just kind of got it though. It is still really new to us still. So we've got 7 starters for it, but in the OCG, they're down to 3 starters. And you probably play 3 bricks if you consider, you know, they're not all the worst bricks in the world, but like they're not ideal. So very interesting. From here, we move to our semi-limits. This is huge semi-limit list. Like they really went crazy with the semi-limits. So starting off here with the semi-limits that went from a higher limit to down is this top box here. So we obviously see the, starting from the right, your Tri-Brigade Fractal, then Pot of Prosperity, Branded Opening, and Elixir of the Scarlet Sanguine, all going from 3 down to 2. Just small kind of consistency slash, I guess you could say, grind hits, right? Fractal. It's just one of the starters for Tri-Brigade going down a little bit further. I mean, this deck just keeps performing, keeps doing well. They put Tanky to 1, I believe. Now they got to put Fractal to 2, and like maybe it just keeps going from there. The engine's just so splashable, so crazy. So I get it. Next up is Pot of Prosperity. This card's interesting. It's probably just one of those things. And the OCG seems to do this more than the TCG does, as far as I can notice. And that's where, like, if a card is just too generically being played all over the place, hit it. I mean, I know we just hit, like, not Extravagance, Desires down to 1. So it's kind of the same thing. It still happens, but I do feel like the OCG does this more often than us. But, yeah, just too many decks probably just playing this at 3. Konami wanted to just, like, kind of limit that a little bit. Make sure, like, all the other pots get a little more use. And this is, like, a small way of doing that. Then you get to Branded Opening. This card is just insane for the Despia deck, and especially since they've had the Albaz structure deck. That deck has been crazy. I think it's one of, if not the best current deck in the OCG. And also, like, everything that happened on this list, like aside from that one little hit, doesn't hit them too hard. I know some people had mentioned to me that there were some Tri-Brigade variants, so I guess Fractal going to 2 affects that as well. But for the most part, like, deck still has so many crazy power spells. So small consistency hit, but not huge. It's a little nick to the deck before they try to go after it in 1 or 2 more ban lists, probably. And then we have Scarlet Sanguine. So we know this. Eldritch is crazy. It's always been crazy. You know, this just keeps them from being able to grind a little bit harder. And yeah, so makes sense. Which takes us to the cards that went coming off of the list. Get really nice here. And I love that Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization laid this out, letting us know which ones are coming from what number. So starting here, we'll start from this right, and I guess we'll work our way down. Whatever. I think whatever, it's going like this, then this. Okay. Orcus Harpore goes from limited to semi-limited, gets 1 copy to 2 copies. Really good. Wind Up Carriers and Matey went from 1 copy to 2 copies. Harmonizing Magician 1 to 2. Knight Assailant 1 to 2. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Bearer 1 to 2. Beginning of the End 1 to 2. Raigeki 1 to 2. And Divine Wind of the Mist Valley 1 to 2. So everything went from 1 copy to 2. Nothing really leapfrogged from 0 to 2, which I guess makes sense. Usually Konami's pretty careful at like, oh, let's put it to 1, see how it does. If everything's cool, then we move to 2. If everything's cool there, move it to 3. They're pretty careful with stuff like that, so not surprising here. Of these, the most interesting ones of note are probably Harpore. Orcus is still like a pretty cool engine, but without like multiple harps, it hasn't been able to do quite as much as like it used to before. And there's also been some power creep as well, but I don't know, maybe. I mean, this gives me even more hope that eventually we could get at least 1 Harpore back in the TCG, and we'll see. As far as like Zen Matey and stuff like Trishula go, Knight Assailant, I believe they were like non-once per turns originally, so you could make multiple, and then you could do like multiple hand rips with Trishulas and stuff, but nobody's really trying to do that, so I don't think that's the biggest concern. Windups are whatever, super weak to hand traps, so there's that. Harmonizing Magician. This is nice. This is really nice. I mean, Harmonizing, everybody knows. Anybody who's a Pendulum player or whoever played Pendulum Magician specifically, Harmonizing has always been one of the best Pendulum Magicians in the deck for sure. Really strong +1. Beginning of the End, kind of a scary card. Like, it's a crazy draw card, but it only works in very particular decks, and it needs setup, but when it resolves, it's like insane. Raigeki, whatever, it's Raigeki. And I honestly don't know much about Divine Wind of the Mist Valley. I really don't, so I'll have to look that up afterwards, but cool, it's at 2. Which then takes us to our final stuff, which is the stuff completely peeling off the list. Looks like Multi-Faker went from 1 to 3, whereas all the rest went from 2 copies to 3 copies, but really cool stuff to see. Multi-Faker. Altergeist are fine. Give them all their cards. They're a good trap control deck, but they got Multi-Faker. Memories of Hope. This is like the weird, I believe, draw card with what is this card? What is that deck called? I can literally picture him right now. It's the going second deck where you use the field spell. Numerons. There we go. Numerons. Next up you have Hero Lives. This goes from 2 to 3. Yeah, I mean, they lost the ability to maybe use Verte to make DPE, but they've got so many crazy cards. I mean, this card at 3 as a starter, Fusion Destiny back off the list. They can still make DPE pretty damn easy. So Heroes are definitely a cool rogue deck in the OCG now with these kind of buffs from this list at least. And then Metaverse, I would love to see this as a Lair of Darkness player. Unfortunately, we don't. But Konami banned Mystic Mine, I believe, in the OCG. Either the last list or the list before. And so, yeah, Metaverse can exist. There's no real problem with that. And that's really cool. I'm definitely jealous. I would love to see Metaverse go at least to 2 for us. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's, I think, everything here for the new ban list. Really cool to see. Hopefully, I'm really hoping we see verte go. I'm ready to see it go. I know a lot of rogue decks take a hit, but like, it's not like meta decks aren't playing this either. It's just one of those things that's like, it's really, really strong. It's too good not to play. And everybody, if you can play it, is pretty much playing it. And so it just makes the game a little more stale when like everybody's just kind of building to counteract specifically like the DP engine and the Brave stuff. And just because everybody's playing those. Hopefully on our next list or the one after, we'll also take a look at the Brave stuff. I think they'll probably dodge the next list, but maybe after that, we'll probably take a look at hitting them for the first time. And then all this other stuff is like, yeah, just kind of telling. We haven't gotten the Albaz structure deck, so we'll probably see this. Tri-Brigade's not too crazy for us right now, but again, I believe this has something to do with the Albaz structure deck. And then, you know, maybe potentially we'll see a copy of Harpore come back for us, or Metaverse move a little bit. Who knows? But really, really cool nonetheless. Biggest hits were just this and this probably, but I'm taking it. So there you go. There's our OCG ban list for April 1st, 2022. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know. I want to know what you guys think as far as if we got a list similar to this down the line. How would you feel about it? Do you want to see these kinds of hits in the TCG, or do you want to go a different route? Because you know, I know a lot of people don't always agree with the way that Konami deals with the OCG ban list as opposed to the TCG one. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from me down the line. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.